Ranking the Arsenal guns. First off, this is not a tier list, and thank you for John Roblox for the idea for this. Let me go find the Arsenal wiki. So we're gonna be looking at the WEPs in Arsenal and saying if they're good or trash. Okay, time to start. Let's go. Pistols. P250 is semi-garbage. It's really trash at long range, but at close ranges it will obliterate you because it can 2 to 3 shot kill at close range. 1 shot's at the head on the head at close range. Deagle is between semi-garbage and decent. It has really good spread, really good recoil. Has really good spread, really good damage, but the problem is its recoil. It's really bad. The recoil is really bad. Tech 9 is decent. Reason being is because it's fully automatic. It's insanely OP at close range, but at further ranges, it's useless. Glock 18 is a god tier weapon. It's really good on at close range because of its insanely quick fire rate. M101, also known as the M1911, easy garbage, terrible spread, terrible magazine capacity, and when you aim upwards, the recoil just breaks your spine. Seriously. The Golden Gun is semi-garbage. Cause it is a one-shot kill. It used to have 0 spread, but the problem is that if you don't hit your target, you'll have to reload for about 3 to 4 seconds. High power is decent. Maxine, shut up. Maxine, shush. I'm trying to make a YouTube video right now. High power is between semi-garbage and decent. It has decent everything except fire rate, which I think is a little quick for me. That isn't fully automatic. The M1911, I forgot to mention, it has good damage though. M9 is actually decent. I know it's supposed to be garbage, but it's actually decent. It's very, very overpowered at close range, but at any other range, it turns to complete trash. Glock 17 is garbage. It does have 0 spread and 17 rounds in the magazine. 17 serendipity. But its fire rate is so low. Makarov is actually decent. I would mark this as pretty close to the god tier if it weren't for its very small magazine capacity. Hush Puppy, pure garbage. Its fire rate is so slow. I mean, it does good damage at close range now, but the fire rate just kills it. Windicator is garbage. It's OP. It's decent at close range, but other than that, it's just pure garbage. Peacemaker is actually pretty good, close to the god tier range, because you could literally just like hold down V or left click, and then just like spray it. Dual Volcanics, they one shot at close. They do good damage and stuff, so pretty decent weapon. Pepper gun, easy garbage, terrible spread. Once you start the spray and pray mode up, it just turns to complete trash. Luger is actually Luger is pretty close to the god. It is pretty god tier, but closer to decent. The fire rate is kind of low, which is good because then I can use a magazine with discipline. That means I can empty a magazine with discipline. It does good damage, but the only drawback to it is its small magazine capacity of only being 8 shots. Weighably, it's decent. It's pretty cool. It has very good spread. I think it has the best spread out of any revolver in the game that doesn't have 0 spread. It does really good damage on the head, 1 shots at close range. Hand cannon is garbage. Unless you're Castlers, this thing is trash. I mean, sure, it does have 0 spread, but still, the fire rate just makes it hard to aim. Little Tom is decent. I know it's supposed to be garbage, but it's actually decent. It is fully automatic. Prismas are basically the doppelganger of Dual Volcanics. They have double the fire rate, double the magazine capacity, but like half the damage. So, still decent. Electric Revolver is easily a god tier weapon for you to use. Has really, really good spread, does splash damage, does 98 damage, fully automatic, and can kill multiple people at once via the splash damage. The only issues with it though are that its reload is kind of long, has only 6 rounds in the magazine, in the has only 6 bullets that you can use before you have to reload, and there's no headshot multiplier. Colibri, easy garbage, terrible fire rate, kind of good damage, but terrible fire rate. It does have 0 spread though. Maxim 9 is decent. Reason being it's suppressed and it has pretty quick fire rate. Literal gun, easy garbage, terrible spread, terrible magazine. It is worse than the 1911. It does one shot though. Origami gun is also garbage. It does have 0 spread and a good magazine capacity, but still, the fire rate's just so low. Falcor is easily a god tier weapon. It's the only pistol in the game where you can aim down sights. Pathbringer is semi-garbage. Its spread is a bit atrocious, and at close range, though, you're good to go. Soul Pistol, garbage. Soul Pistol, garbage. The damage is terrible. The damage drop-off is so bad. The fire rate's also quite low. Does have 0 spread, though. Golden Kriegel, I've never tried this weapon before, because it's exclusive to the Raw staff. But I know what it does, so it's a god tier weapon. Kriegel is a weapon that was removed, because I think it was too OP or something. But if this was added into the game, if this was still in the game, it would have been pretty close to the god tier range. It's basically the Deagle, but it has no spread. No recoil, I think. Union Pistol, I've never actually seen what it does. So, yeah, not really too good on that one. SMGs, whoa, let's go. MAC-10 is actually decent. I know it's supposed to be garbage, but it's actually decent. It has bad spread, yeah, and it is useless at long range, but at close ranges, it will obliterate you. P90 is now really good. P90 is now pretty good, pretty close to the god tier range, because it has a high magazine capacity, fast fire rate, kind of good reload, usable at long range. UMP45 is also pretty close to the god tier range. No, this is god tier, because it has a slow fire rate, which means you can be more disciplined with it, so that you don't empty a mag without discipline. Also, it's good spread. Also, has kind of good spread. BP Bison is actually a god tier weapon because it basically is 0 spread, has a very high magazine capacity, kind of quick reload, usable at long range. MP7 is decent because basically the spread is terrible. The spread is garbage. I'll give it that. I'll say that, but still at close range it will destroy. MP5K, it's okay. It's pretty decent. It's not good for long range whatsoever, but at close ranges, it's pretty good. MP9S is pretty close to the god tier range. It's suppressed, so you're not giving away your location to enemies 24/7. It also has a quick fire rate, good magazine, quick reload, and kills very quickly. Grease Gun is also a god tier weapon for you to use. I don't know why I'm putting most of these in the god tiers, but I am, so. But I'm putting most of these in the god tier spot, so I guess I could put the P90, I guess I could put the UMP45 in between decent and close to the god tier. But back onto the Grease Gun. Grease Gun's easily a god tier weapon, because if you lightly tap it, it just turns into a freaking laser. If you lightly tap it, it just basically turns into a laser. If you lightly tap it, it basically has magnetic bullets. This is really OP. Uzi is decent. It has a slow fire rate, which means you're not going to be like emptying a magazine every 2 seconds. Does kind of decent damage. its spread got a big buff. Tommy gun is easily a god tier weapon. Has really kind of good spread, not too great of damage, but fast fire rate. Mag 49 is pretty close to the god tier range. Has really good damage, really not too bad of a drop off. Just an overall. Sten is also a god tier weapon. It does insane damage, but has kind of a bad spread for its class. New Z80, it's garbage. Z80, it's garbage. The spread is terrible. The time to let it cool off is bad. It's just trash. PPSH is decent. It has a bad spread, bad damage, but it does have an enormous mag capacity. Has a quick reload too. Micro Uzis, they're okay. No, they're god tier. Cause like, not good for long range. At medium ranges and at close range, it's just really OP. Kind of good spread, decent damage, insanely quick fire rate. Mauser Carbine is semi-garbage because its spread is a bit whack. Its spread is just whack, but it also is, it's suppressed, it has kind of a quick reload too. FMG9 is god tier weapon. Pretty good. I don't know why I'm putting most of the weapons in god tier now, but I am, so deal with it. BH10, decent, kind of good damage, kind of good spread, fast fire rate. Vector is a god tier weapon. I think it's the only SMG in the game where you can aim down sights. Pretty decent weapon. Pretty god tier weapon overall. Shotguns, easy. XM014, it's pretty good. It's decent. Mag 7, it's garbage. Useless at longer ranges, barely usable at medium range, but it's okay at close range. And besides, Fusion Boy's got an insane kill feed with it. Lever Shotgun is decent. You can double jump with it. You can get some pretty sick kills. And you actually put in one bullet at a time when you're reloading, which means you can shoot while you're reloading. I think that ability is called doubling off. Double barrel shot, that shotgun right there, the one right next to the lever shotgun, is semi-garbage. Reason being is that the damage drop-off is terrible. But you can recoil jump with it. Spaz 12 is pretty good, close to the god tier range, because you can literally snipe with this freaking thing. I would also put the DBS in here, but that's a sniper technically. But if we were, that would have been a god tier weapon. Pump shotgun is decent. At close, it destroys at close range, but at longer ranges, it's quite trash. But at longer ranges, it's not really too great. Trench gun is easily a god tier weapon. It one-shots at medium range on the body, which is like, what? That is insane. Coleco, it's garbage. The spread is terrible, the fire rate's super bad. Basically, it's just a Mag 7, but better. It's a Mag 7, but better, basically, because the magazine capacity is a lot higher. I'm making a YouTube video right now. Right. What? Sorry, I had to talk to my mom. Moth and Bird 500 is pretty close to the god tier range. It used to be decent because the spread used to be kind of bad, but now it's been reverted. R800 is semi-garbage. The spread is kind of bad. It does have no magazine, which means like basically it's a laser at close range. AA-12 is a god tier weapon. It's one of the only automatic shotguns in the game, along with the Spaz 12 and the dual shotguns. Taz is decent. No, it's pretty close to the god tier. It does bolt action. It does have a magazine, but it will one shot on the head at medium range. Inertial shotgun is easily a god tier weapon. Like seriously, this thing one shots at medium range. and one shots in the head at long range. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculously high damage right there. The only issue though is that the reload's kind of slow, and the spread might be a little bad. Tavor depends on what bullet type you choose. If you choose slug, if you choose 12 gauge, it's decent. If you choose slug, it's easily a god tier weapon. If you choose incendiary though, it turns to complete garbage. Dual shotguns, decent. They're terrible, and I mean terrible at long range. But at close range, they're pretty good. Automatic rifles. M4A1 is semi-garbage because the spread is a bit bad on it. But, okay, but not as bad as, like, a few other guns on this list. AUG is pretty good, close to the god tier range, because it has really good spread, really good damage, decent magazine, quick reload, decent overall. FAMAS is decent. I know it has a bad spread, but still I've gotten some pretty good kills with it. M16A1 is actually closer to the god tier range. Like, it's one of those weapons that people think is decent or god tier. It's one of those weapons. AK-74, if you lightly tap it, it's pretty good. I'd mark this as I'd say this is a decent weapon. AKM, it's basically the AK-74, but more damage and more spread, so still decent. M16A2, I'm gonna mark this as decent. It is because the burst weapon is trash, to say the least. The burst, it can kill in 2 bursts, but still, the spread on it is kind of bad. The burst is kind of hard to control. It does have a grenade launcher, but that's a game of chance. And you can rocket jump with it, but still you might die by doing that. And you only get 1 reserve grenade. MK18 is easily a god tier weapon. It's really, really good, has a sight, very good overall. M14 EBR is worse than the MK18 because the spread is a bit worse on it, but 2 little taps on the head should be enough to kill them. Pulse laser is decent. I'll mark this as god tier, but the only issue is that it runs out of ammo quicker than the speed of light, basically. This thing just loses its ammo really quickly. However, I think it can kill in half a magazine, so yeah. Potassium power is garbage. The low magazine capacity, low fire rate, high spread, it's just garbage. FAL, garbage. FN FAL, garbage. It's basically the M14 EBR, but worse. They have the same spread, but the M14 EBR has a sight that you can aim down, while the FAL doesn't. So, it's garbage. Let's stop it. Oh, there's lemonade. Cool. Scar H is pretty good. It's god tier. Because basically, it has a sight, it has a really quick fire rate, really good damage. The only drawback is the small magazine capacity. G11 is closer to god tier range. The reason being is that it does have a sight and a lot of rounds in the magazine, but the recoil and the spread gets really nasty on it, but still decent. LH6A3, garbage. The spread is terrible, the damage is low. It's just garbage. XR15 is actually decent. Even though it is burst, it does have good spread. Nail gun is easily a god tier weapon. I have no idea why they thought this was a good idea to add this. It's just way too OP. BAR, this should be in the machine gun section, but it's not. But it is a pretty god tier weapon overall. G36, god tier. It has really good spread, really good damage, really good magazine, really good fire rate. But the only drawback is the recoil, which is a bit monstrous. Focus, easy garbage. Terrible damage, terrible fire rate. And time to kill on it's slower than the flamethrower. It's ridiculous. The time to kill on it is only slightly quicker than the flamethrower, which I'm like, what? Laser rifle, it's basically the pulse laser, but just a different model, so still decent. AK-47, I think it's just gonna be an AKM, but it's just gonna, but less damage and kind of less spread, so still decent. Probably, I don't know what it's gonna be like. Semi-automatic rifles, M14, M101C, M101P, they're all the same crap. They're all decent. Actually, I'm gonna put the M101P in between semi-garbage and decent because basically the spread on the M101P is a bit worse than the M101C and M14. Other than that, still decent. Henry rifle is semi-garbage. It does have zero spread, and you can double jump with it, but the only issue is that it has high recoil and slow fire rate. Spencer Carbine, easy garbage, low fire rate, just terrible stats. Reason why I'm putting it in garbage and not the Henry rifle in garbage is because with the Henry rifle you can double up with it, where you can shoot when you're loading, but with the Spencer Carbine you can't because it works off of a magazine when you're empty reloading. Dragunov is decent. It has a bad spread, but kind of good. Has a bad spread, pretty good damage though, and if you know how to hit a headshot, it's pretty good. Springfield rifle, easy garbage, terrible recoil, just terrible stats, low fire rate, garbage oil, garbage damage at long range, but it does one shot at close range and stuff. So now, M1 Grand is actually pretty good, close to the Gautier range, because basically it's a if you know how to hit a headshot, it is a laser. Like literally. It does have a bad spread though. Machine guns. MG42 is decent. The reason being is that the fire rate's pretty fast, is way too quick for me. The damage is kind of low. It does, and it has a small magazine capacity and slow walk speed, but still has a very tight spread though. Minigun, pure garbage. If you don't rev it up first, it's garbage, but if you do rev it up before you get into combat, it just turns into a complete annihilator. This thing will annihilate people. M60 is semi-garbage. M60 is actually decent. I know it's supposed to be garbage, but it's actually decent. It does really good damage. EM249 is easily a god tier weapon. It has no spread. I think it has no spread. It has no headshot multiplier though, which I think is kind of bad. But it does have splash damage, really good magazine, really OP overall. M19 19A6 garbage. The spread is terrible. The reload is atrociously long and stuff. I mean, it does one shot on the head, but still, the spread just ruins it. DB2 shot, it's garbage. It's burst garbage. Burst garbage. It is the only machine gun where you can aim down sights, which I think is pretty cool. But still, if you don't aim down sights, it has better. If you don't aim down sights, it does have a quicker fire rate, making it garbage. It still is garbage because of its exceedingly low burst delay. Because of its exceedingly long burst delay. Sniper rifles, easy. Op, decent. Barrett, a fast fire rate. So I'm gonna mark this as pretty close to the god tier range. G3 SG1 is also god tier. M40, pure hot fire garbage. Garbage, low fire rate. MS556, garbage. Actually, I'm gonna mark this as decent because the fire rate is fast. It does do kind of good damage and stuff. Railgun is actually garbage. Railgun is actually semi-garbage. Reason being is that it either has zero spread or really is that when you start spamming it, it gets really garbage spread. It also has a terrible delay to it. And everyone votes for Railgun Royale now, so I'm like, bruh. DBS, this was supposed to be in the shotgun section, but whatever. It's a god tier weapon overall. Has no spread, one shots no matter what. Very accurate. You can recoil jump with it. Stuff. Mosin Nugget, pure hot fire garbage. Garbage. Slow bolting speed. Musket is semi garbage. Cause if you do know how to land your shots, you're basically God. Unless if it's in gun rotation or randomizer, then you're screwed, basically. But in standard mode, if you do know how to land your shots, you're pretty good to go. It one shots no matter what. And they actually had to remove it from the Hackula game mode because of how much damage it dealt. Sako 85 is semi garbage. I used to think it was decent, but now I think it's semi garbage because now it basically never hits its shots. Pulse Musket is decent. I would mark this as god tier, but the only problem with it is that its recoil is just the recoil on it. It's just a meme. It's really stupid. Scout. I actually tried this in Counterblocks. It's semi garbage. It has kind of good bolting speed, but since there's so many tryhards who use the AWP, which one shots, it's just trash. Specials, also known as the projectile weapons. Baseball launcher, garbage. Baseball launcher is semi garbage. It has kind of good spread, does good damage at long range. The only issue with it though is its annoying projectile arc. Rocket launcher, it's okay. It's pretty decent. It's between semi garbage and decent. You can rock jump with it. It has a low fire rate though, and it does need reload. And it doesn't one shot splash damage, which is still decent. But if you do go for direct, but if you do land a direct hit on someone, it will one shot. Flamethrower, garbage. Flamethrower is garbage. I mean, it does do burning damage, but still garbage. Crossbow is semi garbage. The reason being is that it just that stupid projectile arc. It does one shot at long range on the body, but if you go for close range, it won't work. RPG is easily a god tier weapon. It does one shot. It has infinite reserve ammo. The only problem with it is it only has one shot, and when you're rocket jumping with it, it just does insane damage to you. So you have to be really careful with it. Super Bowl is semi garbage. Reason being is that the projectile is huge, so you're probably gonna bounce it off of something and hit something that you didn't want to, and hit an enemy that you didn't want to hit. Slingshot is decent. It's fully automatic, has infinite ammo, so you can basically just spray it. Concussion rifle used to be a god tier weapon, but now it's closer to god tier. The reason being, Rolv just ruined rocket jumping with the concussion rifle. It would fling you backwards, which I think is like, bruh, what is that? Plasma launcher, garbage, burst garbage. I mean, it does do splash damage, crap, and you can rocket jump with it. So I'm actually gonna mark this as between summer garbage and decent. Bow, pure hot fire garbage, garbage. It does have kind of a projectile arc, but not as bad as the other weapons. But it just flies around everywhere. It flies around wherever it wants to go, basically. However, at close range, if you aim for the head at close range, it's okay. Firework launcher, garbage. It does low damage. I think it does have the quickest fire rate out of any explosive weapon in the entire game. But yeah. Still garbage. Razor Bomb is easily a god tier weapon. You get 20 of them at a time and you can rocket jump and throw a bunch down. The splash damage is insane. It does barely any rocket damage when it barely does any damage to you when you rocket jump. And one shots on splash damage, which is insane. Spellbook is garbage. The pull time is terrible. It has a terrible, terrible projectile arc. Pizza, the food tastes really good in real life, but in the game of Arsenal, it's trash. It is OP at close range, and if you do click V or left or right click or your or click the button to your right, it's pretty good. You can go faster with it if you do press V or click the mouse key that is to your right. But yeah, Autoball is actually pretty good, close to the God tier range. I have no idea why I don't know why Bandai hates this gun so much. It's just really OP. But now we have a weapon that needs to be put in garbage. Basically, Ice Stars, Snowball, Presents, and Water Balloon. Ice Stars, you can double jump with them, which I think it's the only projectile which you can double jump with. But other than that, it's just pure trash. Snowball, you used to be able to get a badge with it and a skin, but now you can't, so it's garbage. Presents, they're really nice in real life, but in the world of Arsenal, they're not really too great. M79, garbage. Reason being, you like almost always kill yourself with this thing because the splash damage radius is so huge. Because the splash damage radius is enormous. Lightning Cannon, I thought this, John Roblox thought this would be replacing the railgun, but it didn't. It's decent though. Pocket Potassium is between semi-god tier and decent. It does one shot on splash damage and one shot on direct contact. And it sends you flying. Water Balloon, garbage. You used to be able to get a badge with it, but now you can't. Yeah. Sunflower Sun is easily a god tier weapon. I think they removed it. I have no idea. Paintball Gun is god tier. Has barely any projectile arc at all. If not no projectile arc whatsoever. Acid Spitter, garbage. It's basically a flamethrower, but the model is smaller and you run a little bit quicker with it. But still garbage. Dispenser, garbage. Dispenser, garbage. Because the projectile arc is aggressive. It is fully automatic. I actually had an idea of making this into the game, but I never submitted it to Valve staff, and they probably got a telepathic message about it. So I'm like, whoa, that's really cool. Toilet paper launcher. At close range, it's garbage. At close range, it's okay, but at longer ranges, the projectile arc gets aggressive. So, kind of decent. Flaming Pumpkin, easy garbage. Terrible projectile arc. I mean, it does do burning damage, and it stays there for a long time, so it's basically a mine. So it's basically a flamethrower, but better. Stake Launcher, it one-shots across all ranges on the body, unless you press V or use its special by clicking the mouse key to your right. Then it shoots a bit quicker, but doesn't one-shot kill. Bomb, I've actually tried this weapon before. Garbage. You often kill yourself with it. You often die because of it, because like you have to light it up, and often you kill yourself by doing that, because like the M79, the splash damage radius is trash. Bomb Trowel is not really a weapon, but it's more so a tool. Zeus, never tried it before, never even heard of it. So that was my tier list. Wait, let me go look at the knives. Normal knife is garbage because you often get mowed down by someone with a gun. But when someone does want to knife fight you, it's really fun. Or if you join a knife only server, it's pretty fun. Golden knife is semi garbage because you can double jump with it. Your speed is increased as well, but still that doesn't prevent you from getting killed by someone with a gun. You often lose to this piece of crap. And that marks the end of my video. Wait, I forgot the squeaky hammer. Squeaky hammer is garbage. You do have enhanced speed, and you can double jump, but the swinging speed of it's is lower, and If you don't go for the backstab, it only does 5. However, if you don't go for the back, it'll take 5 hits to kill someone. That damage is worse than the Glock 17, at least nowadays. And that marks the end of my video. I am done. Thanks for John Roblox for the idea for this video.